And now we're back. Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of More Life Diaries. It's been a while, but yes, we are officially back and happy to be back. Very happy. We're gonna get into a lot in this episode. I'm just going to be walking and talking you guys through what's been going on the last few months, some concerns, the future of More Life Diaries, those types of things. So we're gonna keep it real loosey-goosey today and just have a little conversation. I was editing another video completely and I thought maybe I'll just throw this one before then just to kind of catch you guys up on what's been going on. Right now, I'm in the hood, Puerto Vallarta. Just kidding. I'm in Versailles neighborhood. Gonna walk home and let's have a conversation. Let's go. Hey, yo, what? Yuck. Guys, thank you all so much for your messages. We got messages, where you guys at? We miss you. We miss the videos, those types of things. And I'm sorry that we kind of just disappeared a little bit, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, it's been a long 2.5, 3 months now, actually, probably since we put out another video. A lot has happened. A lot has happened. So we'll talk about it, and also me and Kathleen will sit down and have a little conversation about everything that's been going on a little bit more in depth. We have some very exciting news to share with y'all as well, so stay tuned. I think we're going to drop that maybe on the podcast probably, next week or so. And yeah, it's just me right now because it's a little bit hard to try and get me and Kathleen together to film some stuff. So sometimes I just pick up the camera. I do the videos without her because we're kind of not on the same schedule at all. So you get a little bit more of me, unfortunately, but you get a lot of Kathleen in the B-roll and on the podcast. Before we get into it, hit the subscribe button, hit the comment section if you have any questions, if you want to make any comments about anything that I talk about in this video. I always greatly appreciate the comments and I love interacting with you guys as well. But hit the comment section, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. All right, what the heck has been going on with More Life Diaries? Our last video would have been a vlog, probably the vlog where I lost my drone in Yelapa. We have a full video coming up on Yelapa. We had an amazing time there, and also we had one of the best beach days we've ever had on quite literally the smallest beach we've ever seen. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. A week or two after Yelapa, we're actually packing up all of our apartment and moving our stuff. And the reason being is that we moved. So we moved apartments. We're still in the same neighborhood. We're actually really close where we used to be. There's a beautiful apartment that became available, a lot better for us and for our family, and a lot nicer in general, for a very similar price. So it was a no-brainer for us, but they needed some time to renovate the apartment. So what we did is that we moved everything before leaving to Canada, and then we stayed the duration of the renovations in Canada, basically. So we were gone for a couple months. We were in Toronto, we went to Ottawa, we went to Quebec, a little bit everywhere, but we had a great summer. It's our second summer back in Canada, and although things were fun when we were seeing friends and family, but otherwise really boring, we had a great time there. So we moved all our stuff, and when we came back early September, we ended up taking possession of our new apartment. So we're still in the process of unpacking, of getting a few pieces of furniture here and there, but we will show you guys an apartment tour when the time comes. Yeah, that was just very busy. We put everything in boxes. We moved everything little by little. Basically took a week to just chip at it. Got it done just basically when we were leaving. And then we spent some time in Guadalajara. So the flights were cheaper for us in the off season to fly to Guadalajara and then fly to Toronto with Flair Airlines. And flying to Guadalajara was like 120 USD, más o menos. Very cheap. We got to spend 5 days there. I have a video on that coming up. We had a blast there. We absolutely loved Guadalajara. We'd like to go back and visit and do the things we didn't get to do, which is a lot of things, but at least we got our feet wet. We got to do some fun activities. We absolutely loved it there. Not a place for us to live. We love the coast, we love the beach, we love the ocean, but still a place that we'd like to frequent, especially because it's so close to PV. We have also a crazy story from trying to catch our flight from GDL, Guadalajara, to Toronto. Honestly, gave us a bit of PTSD, so I'll keep that one for the podcast. Crazy, stressful experience, but it's one for the podcast. We need to get Kathleen involved on this one. So following our move, clearing out our beloved apartment, which we absolutely loved and loved the neighbors there, and we're still close to the area so the kids can still play with their friends and all that. We spent some time with family, friends in Toronto. We were there for just under 2 months, and we flew back here early September. And going back to Toronto's or surrounding area is always an experience in itself. It always feels a little bit weird because you go back to kind of what you know and how you were living when you were there, and it's not necessarily how we want to be living now. So it's just kind of eventless for the most part. I really wanted to try to continue doing vlogs when I was over there, and to be quite honest, it's just like I don't know what to vlog, what's interesting. Everything's just kind of really normal there, whereas here everything is still, after almost 3 years, new and amazing, and I will never get used to it probably. So it always gives us the motivation and the drive to show you guys more things here versus back home. So although how we used to live might be interesting to some of you, it isn't to us. And just the motivation to do any sort of content was at an all-time low, and it becomes really difficult for me to put together anything at all. I just couldn't do it, had a complete mental block. That just puts things in perspective a little bit, and it makes us question how much we want to go back home, or for how long we'd like to continue going. Maybe on a yearly basis, but definitely for not as long of a period. Even though it gets extremely hot here in the summer, this is where we're trying to build a business, we're trying to make a career, trying to raise a family. So now we are back in PV. We're gonna keep going with the vlogs, we're gonna keep going with the podcast. My plan is to focus a little bit this year on building a community. Being a creator is difficult, and making income as a creator is very difficult as well. We're basically doing this for free, even though we are monetized. It barely pays. It doesn't even come close to paying the bills. It barely covers, us making content and the cost of doing that. I'd like to create something under a membership platform, either through the YouTube paid platform or under Patreon, because Patreon takes about 5% of the revenue versus YouTube paying 30%. So I'm still going back and forth with that, and with what we want to offer under a paid platform. And if I can get your input, guys, if some of you guys are interested in joining this community, I'd like to be more transparent about the good and the bad of living here, specifically the bad, since we never really touch on that in videos. We're always kind of highlighting the good things. of PV, the things we love, which is a lot, which makes it worth living here. You know, everywhere has good and bad things, and that's definitely specific to you and the things that you're looking for in a home or a place to visit. But we'd like to be a little more transparent without, you know, being negative on our YouTube channel. We want to keep this as a positive space for everyone. I think that's very important, especially with the way things are going in the world right now. This isn't a place to be political. This isn't a place to be negative. This is a space that we want to share positivity and really motivate you guys to do exactly what it is you want in life. Especially, you know, folks with kids that feel like there's no options besides the status quo of living the life that was, you know, set out for you to a certain extent because of external pressure. But everyone is always invited. At the end of the day, you know, we're sharing our life, but we're also sharing stuff for tourists, for seasonal immigrants that come here. So just a fun YouTube channel, nothing serious, and nothing is serious at the end of the day. We're just having fun with it. So yeah, comment down below, you know, what you would feel, what you would want if you were part of the community under a paid platform. And I've got some ideas. Some of them would be, you know, some live podcasts, live interaction with the community, so live Q&As, cost of living content. A lot of traffic over there, sorry. People underestimate how hard it is to walk here in Mexico and film at the same time. You constantly have to look where you're walking. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you'd want to see in a community space. You know, obviously under paid platforms so we can make a little bit of money, and keep the channel going, but also stuff that would be of value to you, whether you're looking to move to Mexico or you're just looking to visit here and get more content from us. You love Puerto Vallarta, let me know down in the comments. That'd be greatly appreciated. So that's what we got in store for you guys. Lots of episodes coming. All right, and going off the topic of, you know, a lot of negativity in the world and us trying to keep this as a positive channel and a happy space, a happy getaway for a lot of people, is that there have been a lot of talks and demonstrations, or I forget what they're called. Protest is the word I'm looking for, about gentrification here in Mexico as a whole, PV being no exception. So there was one just the other day. I think this is the second or third one here. Mexico City and those types of things. And I've seen a lot on Facebook groups, people, you know, that are concerned about it, or that concerned about the negative comments that a lot of people leave on Facebook. And what I have to say to that is, although it is a reality and gentrification is real, the cost of living is going up. Mexico here is no exception to that. It's been happening in, you know, Toronto, even in Newmarket, where Kathleen's parents live. Gentrification, cost of living going up is happening everywhere, and here as well. So the thing I appreciate is that, you know, Mexicans are making their voices heard, whereas a lot of other places, the people are just compliant. You know, mass immigration is a huge problem in the United States and Canada, and no one really says anything until it's too late. So I do appreciate that people here make their voices heard, and that their opinions do matter, and it is a real thing, and it's a complex thing as well. It's not just as much as, oh, gringos are coming in and moving here, and that's why the cost of everything is going up. I won't go into my opinions on it, to be quite honest. If you want to talk about it, email us. I want to say that a lot of negative stuff that's said online is not real life. I've yet to have a negative interaction with anyone, I think, ever living here. Everything has been very nice. Everyone has been very nice. Everything you see online is not real to a certain extent, because a lot of those people are venting and they would never say anything in real life to your face. You won't get approached. Nothing will happen if you come here, as long as you're actually trying to assimilate and fit in. And that's the important part of all of this. And that's the frustrating part for Kathleen and I, is that people think they're going to visit here. And I maybe give like a little leeway to tourists that are coming in for a week, but understand the Mexican culture. And that's something that comes with time, but you need to at least give it your best effort. You need to learn some Spanish. If you're going into restaurants, you say hola, buenos dias, buenas tardes. You say gracias. Even if you don't know how to order in Spanish, there's a lot of easy, essential words you need to be learning. And it's a huge pet peeve when I overhear people not even trying with the essential words. I understand that a lot of people aren't confident to even say those basic things, but you need to put your ego aside, your confidence or lack thereof aside, and just try. No one will give you a hard time for trying, but they sure will be upset if you don't. So at least try with the essential words. And if you're planning on moving here, at least try to, don't even try, learn the language. Some words. I'm not saying I'm perfect at all in speaking Spanish. I'm not fluent, but I can get around 100% of my daily life with only speaking Spanish. And to be honest, me and Kathleen kind of get like offended when we're speaking Spanish to someone and they switch to English. We just want to speak Spanish, so we will not even answer in English. We're just going to keep going in Spanish if someone switches. And I understand to a certain extent, because a lot of Mexicans want to practice their English, but I think us being here as foreigners trying to assimilate, it's a lot more important for us to practice our Spanish. So learn the language, eat Mexican food, embrace the culture. This is what being an immigrant in a new country is. You need to assimilate. It's not about trying to convert people to your culture or your beliefs. You can still have those and hold those dearly, and within your family, do those things. But the Mexican culture is such a beautiful thing, a beautiful culture, beautiful people. It's just the wrong thing to do, to try not to assimilate to a new country you're an immigrant in. So assimilation is a big factor, and it's a big reason that people are protesting. Beyond the cost of living, this is another big negative point that we see a lot in comments on social media. It's so hot, so very hot. Getting away from some traffic here. Another thing I wanted to talk about on a similar topic, which we get all the time, is if we feel safe here as a family, especially with a lot, again, of tensions with cost of living stuff, tensions with the United States and Mexico, Canada. And to be quite honest, I thought that coming back after a couple months, people might feel different, especially since the whole gentrification stuff has been going on since before we left online, but actual protests since we left. To be honest, I feel the exact same being here. I think it's important to not do things you wouldn't do back home. Just take a little extra precaution maybe if you're coming here, not to scare you, but just in general, no matter where you're traveling, especially considering crime has gone up everywhere. Toronto, Ottawa was absolutely gnarly with homeless people, drug use in the open, significantly worse than when we left. Just be careful. Don't carry a lot of cash with you and stuff like that. But overall, we feel safe as always here in PV. And that's not to say, again, that online, we haven't received threats. We've received death threats before, like a wholesome family YouTube channel. Someone said, "I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna make your family suffer." Like dark shit, man. And to be quite honest, like I said, A lot of it is just people being radicalized by the news, people being radicalized by what they see online. Nothing is real anymore. There's just a lot of bots, there's a lot of bullshit online, excuse my language, but nothing is real life. Like, people really need to just start living in the real world. Go outside. Like, everyone is so upset about the news and politics and fighting with everyone and, you know, wanting to kill, wanting to make people suffer. Like, the real life isn't like this for most people that have a family they love, that have purpose, that have stuff they like doing on a daily basis, that exercise, that eat healthy. The real world is completely different. And yeah, we've received those threats. We've received some crazy stuff online that I believe in free speech, and I don't believe in deleting certain things, but certain things definitely, I don't believe in deleting comments and all that. But yeah, some comments just don't deserve to be published, to say the least, and reported, because they are so very dark. So yeah, we've always felt safe here. We've lived abroad before, so we know the precautions to take, and sometimes we let our guard down, but most of the time we don't. And I'd say the same thing if we were living in Toronto still. So just be smart, be careful, and you'll be fine. Buenos dias. I gotta sit down here because I'm sweating absolute buckets. I'm dripping sweat. But yeah, it's been a dark, period, I think, for humanity. Not that I want to get into, obviously, anything political or anything dark like that, but and it's really made me kind of assess doing this online, especially with what's going on with social media people and those types of things. It's a scary place, but overall, building this positive community and putting out a positive message in the world is what I want to do. And if people see that in a negative way for some reason, then so be it. I'm not responsible for how people feel. I'm myself, and that's really all I have to say on that. And the second thing I'm going to say is that, things may change. Things may change. We're going to have to see, what happens, especially with tensions with certain groups that operate here in the United States, and the whole gentrification thing. And I think for us, a big red flag will be when media starts indirectly, which is what they always do, calling for violence, calling for action, those types of things, inflammatory words or gaslighting words, and throwing gas in the flame, whatever you want to call it, I think that a lot of people become radicalized and take action when this happens in state-funded media. And I think when that happens is when we will start being concerned about living here. And again, this is not to scare anyone, guys. This is just, coming from my crazy head. But I think that that's when that, if it does happen, that things will be concerning for us, would be specifically media calling for violence. And they always do this indirectly, and they're doing it now with shootings that are going on. And I don't trust the media. I think a lot of it is not real. Again, it's not the real world for the most part, and it follows certain agendas. And I think that people are radicalized and people are driven to do certain things because the media told them that it was okay to do it, and that there will be no consequences, because if the media says it, then a lot of people probably feel that way, and that's far from the truth. It's actually quite the opposite. So that's all I got to say on that, guys. We're happy to be back. We're very excited to put out content. We're very excited to keep showing you guys our life here as a family in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta. travel. We got really exciting news for you guys, so hit the subscribe button. Hit the comment section if you have any questions, concerns, comments, and definitely hit the comment section, you know, if you'd be willing to pay a few bucks per month to have additional content and to get to know us a little bit more. You know, we're very, very surface level kind of on our website, and we try to be as transparent as can be. But I think we're ready to add that little extra bit of transparency with some of you. And yeah, just happy to be back. It is hot. Look at my sweat dripping everywhere. My arms are dripping sweat. This is quite the workout. Talking and walking. It's not meant for the weak. Anyways, guys, I'm editing the next video as we speak. It's going to be a lot of throwback stuff, but stuff that we want to show nonetheless. Exciting times in our life, and to us, this channel is really our diaries. We like watching nice memories back of things we did and seeing the kids grow and stuff like that. So it's a really, really nice thing for us to do just for ourselves, and we're glad that you guys enjoy the content as well. This has been a long-winded episode, but I thought that it was appropriate since we haven't been on for a little while, and I'll leave you guys on that, y'all. This is our journey. More Life Diaries. Peace. Thank you for watching More Life Diaries.